What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTV Ravens Media, bringing Ravens content every single day. Joshua, the revenge game for both the Ravens and Wink Martindale. He's trying to take down his former team. The Ravens defense is trying to take down their former coach. And the Ravens offense is trying to take down the team that they practiced against every day and that scheme. So what are you thinking going into this game? Trying to take down the 4-1 Giants.
I mean, it's definitely a good matchup. I would say, I throughout the week I've seen people say, it's Daniel Jones' legs versus Lamar Jackson's legs. I'm like, whoa, hold on now. Let's not forget Lamar Jackson also got a cannon on him too. But anything, in all reality, Daniel Jones is not working with the wide receivers that he thought he was. And then it's most likely, the Saquon Barkley show. Shout out to him, nursing himself back to health. But you know what, Saquon? I know you're on other people's fantasy teams. I know there's probably a lot of Giants fans, but today I need you to not try to do so well because I don't want you to be out of commission, So, but with Wink, I know him and John. They know how to deal with the press. They know how to answer, give the political correct answers. It was a mutual respect, and we just all parted our ways respectfully. Nick Sorensen, we can't stop the run today. I think we definitely got to make a move for Payne or Roquan. If we can't pass Mims or Anderson, either way, I can't help but feel we're a trade away. Hey, man, Carson Wentz laid a block on Roquan Swift. I don't know if y'all saw that this past Thursday. So I don't know. We're going to have to make – I don't know if we're going to make that trade for Roquan. But it's Saquon. Our defense now is not built to stop the run. It's more built to beat the pass. And, going against the cover zero blitz constantly day after day. When we had Wink Martindale, I feel like, Greg Roman and company, well, I should say Lamar Jackson and company should have something schemed up in order to defeat this defense of the New York Giants.
Yeah, when I'm looking at this game, when I'm looking at this New York Giants team, there's maybe 5 teams in the NFL that are stop-the-run first-oriented teams, right? You can argue the Ravens, the 49ers, the Giants, probably the Packers.
And sometimes LA and the Rams.
Yeah, we could see the Rams and maybe like the Falcons. A couple of those teams are just really bad, and so it doesn't really matter what you stop. You're going to beat them anyway, like the Falcons. But this Ravens defense, we haven't gotten to go against a team where it stopped the run first. Last week they were playing 2 deep safety every 1st and 10 because they wanted to get the Bengals to run, and they would allow them to get that rushing yardage. Right. Now, this is a game where I think we could see a lot of aggressiveness from – this could be, I think, the first game where we see that aggressiveness from Mike McDonald because we need to stop the run. That is the key to winning this game is stopping Saquon Barkley. And we've been allowing teams to run because we want them to run. It has been the opposite of what we've had to deal with over the last, 5 games of the regular season where it's like, oh, no. Like, you go up against the Buffalo Bills, you were excited if they ever run the football. You're like, please run the football. You'll throw 1 D lineman out there, and they'll still throw the ball because they just don't run the ball. The Giants want to run the ball like every single play. And even when Daniel Jones drops back into pass, you got to leave a spy because he wants to run the football as well. And the wide receivers that they have, I have no problems with them. I like Kadarius Toney. He may be hurt right now. He's out. So it's like they've got players that I like, but a lot of them are injured. The receivers aren't as good as the teams that we've been facing. So I'm willing to sacrifice, a defensive back or whatever to get in the box or sacrifice a linebacker. Honestly, Patrick Queen could be really good as a QB spy. Like maybe utilize him there, because he's good at chasing down the quarterback. He's good at taking that angle at that quarterback. So maybe that's the way that they play him in this game. But it's going to be really interesting to see how good this Ravens run defense is because we haven't played the Browns yet. We haven't played, the Titans of sort. Like, we haven't played these teams with elite running backs that want to run the ball because we've only played against pass-happy teams. So, obviously, our run defense right now looks bad, but that's been we give that up intentionally. How do you think the run defense is going to play now that that's the focus, Joshua?
I definitely feel like the run defense they definitely had to show up. I mean, we all know, we all see it. In order for them to stop the New York Giants, they had to stop Saquon Barkley. They had to stop Daniel Jones. Unfortunately, Michael Pitts will not be with us, so we don't have our interior run stopping guy. But we do have Justin Matabike. Justin Matabike has been looking great. I've seen him pushing offensive guards all the way in the backfield. So, seeing those workouts with Aaron Donald and during the offseason is paying off. We still have the veteran Calais Campbell. We have the rookie of Travis Jones, who's an all-around, defensive interior guy. I believe Isaiah Mack will also be playing as well. And Broderick Washington has been seeing the field. So I do feel like we do have enough guys that's very tough in our interior that will make their presence known and actually, seeing between Justin, Travis, and Broderick Washington. I don't know if you've been, paying attention to it, but those guys have been chasing down the running backs when run plays has been played against used against us in different situations. So, seeing the hustle in our big guys, that's a true testament. I definitely feel like Adafio Way, showing that he can contain the outside and pushing, things back towards the rest of his teammates. That would definitely come into play well. So I definitely feel like, I'm not going to say Saquon's not going to get some yardage. He definitely will. He definitely will make some things happen. But I feel like our run defense will, come out and show out. And I'm not going to say 2012 run stopping defense, but it'd definitely be a nuance that we add into our package. And I'm looking forward to see how Mike McDonald coaches against this team as well, how he gets his guys in different situations. I know we're going to have our Darius Washington out there. I'm wondering, I'd like to see, having Chuck Clark possibly in the box as well. So, it's going to be interesting to see what type of packages and what type of plays he calls and dials up today.
I do like the idea of throwing Chuck Clark in the box. I love that our Darius Washington is activated. I think those guys, this secondary, they're going to be used in a different way, because they're going to be challenged in the fact that they're going to give them one-on-ones. Hey, you need to cover Richie James, or you need to cover, trying to remember Giants wide receivers. I can't remember other guys. I know they have Richie James. I know there are other wide receivers, but I think they're all hurt. So, like, their wide receivers right now, they're lacking. They're trying to get guys to do their thing. But the Ravens, they're going up against a unique team where they have two top 6 rookie picks. They've got Kayvon Thibodeau, a freak edge rusher, and then they also drafted Jones out of Alabama. I believe his last name is Jones. I'm pretty sure it's Jones, at left tackle. And he has been the worst left tackle in the NFL this season. He's given up he tied for the most amount of sacks or pressures, and he's given up by far the most amount of sacks and pressures of rookie offensive tackles.
The left tackle out of Alabama?
Yeah.
I think his last name is like Evans or something like that. Possibly, but
Evans?
Yeah, possibly.
It's like a kind of first name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, even that's intense. Do we put our
we gotta throw Adafe out there.
Okay.
Just to get him some like opportunities. I think we switch it in and out. Like, obviously I think the vets can go in and they can do some things, but I think it's a really nice pace switch up. Because he'll be going up against Adafe and be like, okay, maybe I kind of am getting the hang of it. Maybe I allowed a couple of pressures, and then you throw in JPP, and he hits you with the the spin move or whatever he wants to do, and gets a Evan Neal.
Okay, there we go.
Thank you for the. I was like, I know it's a first name, Neal. All right, Evan Neal. Yeah. I apologize, guys. It's Evan Neal. Sorry.
I mean, that's huge, though. That's huge. I mean,
Andrew Thomas was at Georgia.
For him to go as far as he did, and he's playing like that. Sheesh. And but another guy that was big on is his name Aziz Olarji. I know.
Oh, the other offensive lineman that went to Carolina. He went one pick before him, I think.
No. Aziz. I think Aziz
played. Aziz Ojulari. Yeah. I thought you were talking about Okonkwo. But Aziz Ojulari, the edge rusher, out of Georgia last year.
Yeah,
We took Adafe over him. Yeah,
I
he's
know. I
been
know.
playing good.
They're going to be without Tony Jefferson today. I mean, long as I let my boy Jahi Ward try to go off, that was my guy.
Lisa says she's thinking it's going to be 45-10. Wow.
Whew. I mean, listen, Lisa. I love that. I love that. I mean, I just gotta give everybody some respect because we have been letting up leads. But we have had success already this year in MetLife Stadium. So I mean, I'm not mad at that score prediction.
I honestly have no idea. I haven't heard anything about him. All I know is that he went like 5th to the Panthers, but the Panthers' offensive line is terrible. So
That was the offensive line from he went to NC State.
it was NC State or like South Carolina or something like that. Not a traditional offensive lineman school.
Got you.
And he was also like a guard tackle hybrid.
Mm.
Let's see. All right. But let's see here. My clock on my oven is wrong, so I don't know exactly what time it is. But in this game, Joshua, we've got how much blitzing are we going to see from Wink? Is he going to just send all out like he did when he played for the Ravens, or is he going to notice, hey, the Ravens have been great against the blitz. Maybe we don't blitz as much.
I feel like he's going to coach this game the way he coached the Las Vegas Raiders game when he coached for us last season. Very conservative. Very conservative. He knows, what Lamar Jackson can do. He respects Lamar Jackson clearly. He respects the culture of what the newly found Baltimore Ravens are about. And I don't feel like he's gonna, try to undermine, J.K. Dobbins, Lamar Jackson, the offensive line that we have been working to build on. So, I feel like he's going to be very conservative, try to give us a fill out. For some reason, I feel like it's going to be like a 20% a cent type thing as far as him trying to blitz.
Yeah, I think it's something where it's like we're looking at this team from Wink Martindale's perspective. Wink's goal is always to blitz, which is really, really unique in the NFL. And the Ravens are missing. This is going to be a tough game for the Ravens against the blitz because they're missing Bateman. How much is Devin Duvernay going to be able to do this week? Hopefully, he's been playing great football. I hope he can stay doing that. But, maybe we see some Isaiah Likely. Maybe we use some guys that Wink Martindale is not used to going up against in practice, right? We didn't have Demarcus Robinson. Mm-hmm. We didn't have Isaiah Likely. Maybe we use those guys because Wink's practiced against Lamar and Mark Andrews and Devin Duvernay and James Prochet and Tylan Wallace.
Yeah.
Like 5 days a week for the last 2 years. He's been doing it. So let's use some new players. Let's use some guys that he's not used to seeing, using some skill sets that because we haven't used Likely to the fullest ability. He's gotten some plays. Obviously, he's on Wink's radar. He's gotten some big plays. We've run some screen passes to him. We've thrown a 20, 25-yard pass to him. But I don't know. I think we could definitely see the new guys get involved a little bit more. And I do know Demarcus Robinson has been a killer of Wink Martindale defenses. I do know that for a fact.
Okay. Yeah, he has. Damn. I mean, it definitely makes sense though, because at the end of the day, like you said, he's probably been in practice. Yeah, I know a little bit about Lamar Jackson tendencies. I know about Mark Andrews, tendencies, Devin Duvernay, James Prochet. I know what these guys can do. So he knows that those four are focal points to this offense, to the success of this offense. So I definitely understand, as a defensive coordinator, like, hey, I'm playing against my former team. I'm still going to have some things, ready, set, and go for these guys. But hey, Greg Roman and company, they got to use the element of surprise. They have to continue going to the vault. Don C, what's going on with you, baby? How you feeling? But I mean, yeah. Unfortunately, Gregory Roman has to continue going to the vault, showing what he can do. You know, even though it is week 6, even though it might be early, you still got to open up that. You still got to open up that can and show that hey, that we're a team that wants to win. We're a team that wants to advance. We're a team that wants to succeed. And by any means necessary, we're gonna do what we have to do. And they're gonna have to come out and show out because that team is 4-1, and they still want to win too. So by all means, I feel like using Isaiah Likely, the Mike Davis, J.K. Dobbins coming back, Demarcus Robinson, using those guys to the best of their abilities and keeping those wrinkles is going to keep Wink and his play calling on their toes.
Do we get to see Devin Duvernay in the backfield today?
I think so. Justice Hill not playing today. And honestly, Devin Duvernay just looked good in the backfield. I'm not gonna lie.
He really did. And what are you thinking about for in terms of the vault? What kind of plays are you looking for? Are you looking for some deep shots, or are you looking for some trickery? Or are you just looking for some maybe typical? Sorry, I just got a text. Just typical good play concepts. Like, what are you thinking? Do we want Greg Roman to get really cute and fancy in this game to try and beat the blitz, or do you just want to see some good slants, some good deep posts and things like that, some shot plays?
I definitely want to see the deep ball. We've seen the deep ball, but it hasn't connected. We need to see more deep plays being connected, because once we get that going, other defenses that we will face. Devin doing it all. Duvernay, yeah, he does. He does. Like, Devin Duvernay is kind of remind me of one of those guys. He's reminding me of one of those guys that you play on your Pee Wee football team that plays every damn position, and he's making everything happen. And you love to see it right now. But I definitely want to see some deep shots, us connecting on the deep ball, open up the run game. I want to see us run the ball a little bit more too, and a little bit more successfully. I definitely I want to see Isaiah Likely on the outside, making some moves, slants, things of that nature. Him being used effectively, and him finally having that big game that we know he can have.
And I think when we talk about the deep ball, I wanted them to take deep shots. Lamar wasn't hitting them last week, but we all know Lamar Jackson, when he does something wrong, he wants to prove that he can do it right.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing we saw it out of Hollywood Brown as well. Remember, the game after, I believe, the Detroit Lions game last year, he dropped 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
It was the Denver Broncos game, and he had a diving, 55-yard touchdown on a rope from Lamar Jackson. That's something that he always knows, like, hey, okay, teams may not be, worried about the deep ball because the Ravens missed on, I think it was three deep ball opportunities. I think they threw like true deep balls, big shots, and they didn't connect on any of them. Yeah. I think they're definitely going to try and do that today. I think they're going to try and get it established, because they had it established early in the season. They got to reestablish it. Even though they're missing Bateman, who was kind of the main guy for those deep plays, establishing, because imagine this. Imagine they get deep plays to whoever. Maybe it's Duvernay. Maybe it's Demarcus Robinson. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's Isaiah Likely down the sideline, whatever it is. When Rashad Bateman comes back, teams are going to have to go up against the Ravens, and I don't think Andy Isabella is playing today. I don't think he's activated yet. But when we get him to the 53-man roster as well, they're going to look at this team and be like, okay, they can hit deep balls to Rashad Bateman. They've also hit deep balls to Devin Duvernay.
Mm-hmm.
They can also hit deep balls to Andy Isabella if he gets activated at some point.
Right.
That's going to be very scary. It reminds me of the Bills, or it reminds me of the Chiefs, where yes, the Bills or the Chiefs, over the last couple of years, they had Tyreek Hill. It was like, you got to stop Tyreek. But they could also hit the deep ball to Sammy Watkins. They could also hit the deep ball to Mecole Hardman. They could also hit it to Demarcus Robinson. Every single player on that field, they could also hit it to Travis Kelce too, but every single player on that field they could get that deep ball to. The Buffalo Bills right now, Gabe Davis is that deep threat. He's the guy that's going deep the most, and they can hit the deep ball to him. Josh Allen threw like a 98-yard touchdown and a 68-yarder to him
Yeah,
in his first two completions to him last week against the Steelers. He can catch the deep ball. But Diggs also gets behind the defense all the time, and they're able to hit deep balls to Diggs. Even Dawson Knox has had major catches of 50, 60 yards, where he catches it 50 yards down the field as a tight end. When you go up against the Bills, it's not just stop Gabe Davis deep ball. It's, yeah, you got to watch out for Gabe Davis, but all these players can go deep. So when a safety, because when you think about it against a team, let's say teams are only worried about, we'll say Tyreek Hill
right.
on the Chiefs. They're only worried about it. That safety's supposed to be playing over top. He sees Tyreek Hill stop on an in route. He can come up a little bit because he's not worried about that deep ball going over him.
Yeah.
But if you're worried about, Tyreek, and now Tyreek's with Jalen Waddle, you have to go, oh, I can't step up on Tyreek because Jalen Waddle could be going deep, who's lined up next to him.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, Tyreek's now able to get open because they weren't able to get help because he was worried about that deep ball. That's what we saw out of Kyle Hamilton. He was worried about the Jalen Waddle deep crosser. Tyreek Hill was able to get the deep ball on the deep post.
Right, absolutely. We had a 7-minute marker, but McConnell, I want to ask you, Mike McDonald, he's pretty much the protege of Wink Martindale. People are saying that they see a little bit of Wink Martindale's defense in Mike McDonald. How big do you feel like this game is to Mike McDonald since he's going against, I guess you could say his guru, maybe teacher, so to speak?
I think this is a huge game because he's a linebackers coach. That's where his bread and butter is. That's where he comes from. Mm-hmm. Linebackers stop the run. That is his focus. The history of the Baltimore Ravens defense has been stop the run, then stop the pass. This is his chance to prove to the NFL, to prove to the Baltimore Ravens organization that he can do what they need, which is stop the run when it matters. Because if you can stop the run when it matters, it makes comebacks possible. Mm-hmm. Because when teams are winning, the fourth quarter, they like to run the ball. They want to run the clock out. If you can have a defense that can stop that, it can allow you to get those comebacks, right? And he's shown over the last 2 weeks he can stop the pass. He can absolutely stop the pass. We talked about it after they blew the lead to the Miami Dolphins. It was like, oh, but at the same time, it was all super young players. It's a new defense. They were able to come back. He's gone out against two of the best offenses in the NFL. Yeah. Passing offenses, like pure passing offenses. The best wide receiver trio in the Bengals with a great quarterback in Joe Burrow. Mm-hmm. And then, a top 3 quarterback in Josh Allen with a great wide receiver core. Held him to under 23 points, both of them. That's great. He showed he can stop the pass. Now it's when you prove you can stop the run. And you can win in big games because this is a 4-1 team. This is on the road, 4-1. It's going to be huge for the Ravens to try and get some stops against one of the best running backs in the NFL, in Saquon Barkley. I think it's a huge game for him personally.
Yeah, absolutely do agree. All right. So let's talk about it. Who you got, being that game changer? What you thinking? What you thinking?
I think it's the game. This is the game where we see J.K. Dobbins come back.
How many yards you got him putting up?
150 yards and 2 touchdowns from J.K. Dobbins.
I respect that. Game changer. I might have to go with. I gotta go with Kyle. Kyle Hamilton. Because at the end of the day, it's crazy. It's crazy that I say this, but then it's not crazy. He's going to be getting a lot of PT since Marcus Williams is out. Daniel Jones and their offense is still going to try to throw the ball. I mean, yes, granted, the first option will be Saquon Barkley, but they know that a rookie will be in the back in our secondary, and they are going to try to test that rookie. And I feel like we've been seeing Kyle continue to progress, and I feel like today that he will definitely make his presence continually known. I feel like he can possibly get a punch, a fruit punch today on Saquon Barkley, run him down type situation. I feel like he could possibly get an interception and taking for maybe about 20 yards for Daniel Jones. So I definitely feel like Kyle Hamilton, will have a big game in our secondary and really, make his presence known in the NFL. Like, hey, the Ravens may pick me at 14, and y'all didn't want to, y'all wanted to pass me up, but listen, this team didn't pass me up, and I'm gonna show y'all what I'm made of.
I like that you brought up show that he belongs and things like that. I've got another safety.
Come on.
They call him the preseason king.
Ooh.
Stone, I think, is going to be for this defense, stepping into that Marcus Williams role every once in a while.
Yeah.
I think we could see, maybe him getting an interception, on a tip. I mean, we call him the right place at the right time. That's what he does.
Literally.
Always there. I don't know how he does it, but it's just like, oh, the ball's in the air. It's just like, oh, that went into Geno Stone's hands, and he catches it. I don't know how. I don't know why, but that's how it works.
Wasn't he like top 5, like best safeties coming into that draft class or something like that?
Yeah, he was. I want to say he was one of the top interception leaders at Iowa when he played. He was, he got drafted in the 6th, 7th round of the Ravens, and it was looked at as one of the biggest steals. I think Daniel Jeremiah had him ranked as like, top 130, or he was the biggest steal according to Daniel Jeremiah in the draft. And because he's a ball hawk. And every time we've seen him on the field, we've seen the ball hawk skills. That has come out every single time. And then the other side of things, this is also, I think, a big game for Odafe Owe, because we're trying to stop the run, and that's his specialty.
Yeah.
Run stopping, edge setting outside linebacker. But he can do that, and if he can get a sack, if he can get a big play on Daniel Jones has been known to cough the football up. If you're able to get a sack, that he leads the NFL. I haven't looked this up, but I can personally guarantee he leads the NFL in fumbles since he came into the league. Like, there's no way he doesn't lead the league in fumbles since he came into the league. He had a season, I think, with like 19 or something like that was his second season, and then the next year he had like 15 or something like that. He fumbles the ball. So get a big hit on him and use your athleticism to try and stop Saquon Barkley. I think this is a huge game for Odafe today.
I definitely love that. All right, we got 1 minute left, man. Score predictions. What we thinking?
41. Six.
You know what? I like that. I like Lisa's 45-10. I'm gonna keep it going. I'm gonna go with the 45-10 as well. I just feel like this is a big game that we need. Like I said, we do pretty good at MetLife Stadium. I'm not going to take anything away from the Giants, but they are the depleted team. They hurting, and right now we are a recovering team, and we're looking good. And I feel like this is a game that we put our foot on the pedal, all gas, no brakes.
Absolutely. And I think this is a statement game for the Ravens. What I think a lot of people are like, oh, that's a really big score prediction. The problem is the Ravens are so good when they're able to keep their foot on the gas. Look at 2019. They were just blowing teams out of the water.
Exactly.
And they blew some good teams out of the water. The Houston Texans that year were not bad. The LA Rams that year were not a bad football team. And they were able to blow them out because they kept the foot on the gas. And I think this is a game against a blitz happy. They can get a lot of big plays. They can have some big touchdowns. I'm excited for this one. If it's a close game, I wouldn't be overly surprised. The Giants are not a horrible team by any means. But I think this could be a statement win for the Ravens.
I definitely agree with you.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming in. We'll try and go live after the end of the game. So make sure to come back for that. But, hopefully Ravens come out of this, still winning in the AFC North.